Frightened to the point of hysteria. Some of them are my patients. In your own case, Zellaby, wife and daughter involvement is only too obvious. But what of the others? Unknown as yet, on the verge of God knows what.
How many would you estimate?
You're asking me to be specific, Vicar?
Well, you must have some idea.
65 to 70. It's rough, I admit, but I think you'll find it about the number of women of childbearing age in the village.
Dear God.
Dear God. But how, Doctor?
Beyond me, I'm afraid. That's why I asked Zellaby along. If not specifically his field, at least the benefit of...
Insight? Which doesn't enter into it at all, I'm afraid. Apart from normal conception, there are 3 scientific alternatives that suggest themselves. 1, parthenogenesis. As to say, by means other than sexual.
But never known in higher forms, certainly not mammals.
2, artificial insemination.
I'm inclined to dismiss it.
Yes, Doctor. Yes, so am I.
In which case?
Possibility number 3, Vicar. Implantation. The production of a form that could be unlike that of the parent, or should one perhaps say host. It wouldn't be the true parent.
I'd been hoping that might not occur to them.
Yes, I hope, my dear Doctor, you do better to abandon. Oh, the possibility might not occur to them straight away, but it's one the more intelligent are bound to arrive at before long.
In which case, all the births are going to occur over a very limited period, around the end of June, first week in July.
Assuming the period of pregnancy to be normal, of course.
What worries me most is how to decrease their anxiety and not increase it. One thing for sure, it's imperative we do our damnedest to stop this implantation idea getting around, for as long as it's humanly possible.
Yes, even in propitious circumstances, the prospect of birth is awesome enough. If the mother had any reason to suspect it might be some totally inexplicable alien form of life...
It might drive her mad, Vicar. I'd better get that.
Yes.
Help yourself to a drink. You too, Vicar. You burned one.
Yes. Perhaps just a small one, then.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, I'm reading your mind, Vicar.
Oh?
The need for a woman to take the helm in all this.
Well, I should have thought it obvious.
And equally obvious that you have my wife in mind to fit the bill.
Yes, I do, Zellaby.
Why the devil should she? Just because they trust her absolutely, treat her as some latter-day Lady Bountiful?
They do, don't they?
Well, it's none of her choosing. She inherited the chores when she was idiotic enough to marry me.
They simply do, Zellaby.
An emergency?
Not anymore.
Well?
One of the hands up at Stapler's farm. The youngest girl, Julie. Little more than a child. 17, 18 at most. Anyway, nothing to be done.
What happened?
She hanged herself from a beam. Nothing to say why she did it. Not too difficult to make an educated guess.
One of our statistics, gentlemen.
In conclusion, ladies of Midwich, I thank you for being here. I appreciate the courage and openness it takes for you to be sitting before me now. Something very strange has happened here, not just to one or two of us, but to almost all who are capable of bearing children. Nobody but a child or a childish person expects life to be fair. It's not. And the months ahead are going to be harder on some of us than others. Yes. Nevertheless, fair or unfair, like it or not, we're all of us, married and single, alike, in the same boat. And I'm glad and happy to be counted among you, except that those of us who don't have the love of a husband to help them will have more need of sympathy and care. But this is our affair. You must all know how the cheap papers seize on anything to do with births, particularly anything unusual. But they make a peep show of it, as if the people concerned were freaks in a fairground. The parents' lives, their homes and their children are no longer their own. Well, I, for one, do not intend to lose my child that way. And I expect and hope that all of you will feel the same. Yes, the would-be intruders and interlopers and sensation seekers will be around in force. But it's in our power to see that it remains Midwch's affair. To be managed not as some ministry or newspaper tycoon decides, but as the people of Midwch wish it decided. Hear, hear.
Ah, Dr. Willers. Is it all right if I join you?
Join away, join away. A bit drunk, I'm afraid. Never the intention of getting a damn sight drunker.
Why, any particular reason?
Wetting the baby's head, aren't I? What better? Just delivered a baby, you see, one of our extra special babies.
But surely
Premature. So, had to give him a helping hand.
I see. Was it all right?
Perfect. Perfect. After all that waiting and worrying, nothing wrong at all. Perfect. Except for
Well?
the eyes. It's got golden eyes.
In Part 1 of The Midwch Cuckoos by John Wyndham, dramatized for radio by William Ingram, Charles Kay was Bernard Westcott, William Gaunt, Richard Gayford, and Manning Wilson, Gordon Zellaby. Angela Zellaby was Pauline Yates, Ferrelyn, Jenny Quayle, Janet Gayford, Rosalind Adams, Alan Hughes, Gordon DeLue, Dr. Willers, Hugh Dixon, and Vicar Leabody, William Ingram. Colonel Lapcher was Gerard Green, Captain Beamish, Martin Ransley, Group Captain Harding, Peter Tuddenham, and the Chief Constable, Ronald Baddeley. The policeman was played by David Peart, the pilot by Alex Jennings, and his controller at base by Edward Cast. The technical presentation was by Gareth Watson, and the music specially composed by Roger Lim of the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. The Midwch Cuckoos was a BBC World Service drama production directed by Gordon House.